Hey everyone, how are you doing? It's Fain Brandt with a LinkedIn bakery serving up bite-sized tips so you don't get overwhelmed. I'm super excited to be going live from you, and if you notice, my background's a little different tonight. That's because I'm down at Hair Hub in Mission Valley because I just finished up my monthly LinkedIn lab. But I didn't want to disappoint. I didn't want to cancel the Facebook Live show tonight, so we're just broadcasting from a different area. Now, before we get started and bring on my guest, Carla, who's right over here, say hi. I want to know where you're watching from. And if you're watching the replay, can you please type in replay? Because I do go back in here, and Carla will too, and we'll engage with you and answer your questions. Also, let us know if you have any questions. This is going to be interactive and engaging, so go ahead and post your questions and we'll answer those. And if you are watching the replay and we didn't answer your question, you know what? We want you to go in there and write your question so we can go back in and answer your question. Remember, my brand is all about fun and informative. Now, I have themed all the months because I think it's easier to come up with content. And February is the F month. It's that ugly word that we all hate to say, finances, right? So, speaking of finances, I have Carla Murillo here of DeMur Consulting, and she's an accountant. And Carla and I first met at Hair Hub, so that's our affiliation. And she's attended my lab, and I'm excited to be working with her on my accounting needs coming up because, you know, tax season is right around the corner, right, Carla?
Yep.
So I know people get nervous, right? What am I going to do with my expenses, my receipts? And I love Carla's tagline or headline on LinkedIn. And I just wanted to share it with you to inspire you. She says, bringing order to chaos. Now, I don't know about all of you guys, but I have a lot of chaos in my accounting department in my business. And so Carla's going to help me bring that chaos to order. And my husband and I are really going to love that. Instead of spending hours on spreadsheets and receipts, I know that with the simple tools that Carla shares, and her expertise, she has over 20 years experience, that she is going to help bring order to my chaos, and she can help you too. So Carla, you know what, tell us a little bit about yourself and your business, and you know, why accounting? That, you know, numbers. Oh my gosh, that's not my wheelhouse.
Thank you, Mary. First of all, I want to thank you for having me on your show. I'm super excited. This is my first Facebook Live. So yes.
You're doing great.
Glad to be doing it with an expert.
Thank you.
And I started about 20 years ago at a real estate company doing accounts payable. That was just my job. And I loved it, but there was always something else that I wanted. And for over close to 18 years, I was in the corporate world. And last year, I decided to branch out and start my own accounting firm. And yes, that has been very exciting. And I'm just glad I did it. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of I've met a lot of wonderful people like you, and I just keep learning, and I love it.
Awesome. So you come to us with tons of experience, but then what I want you guys to know, check that out, she has all that corporate experience, but now she's on the other side as an entrepreneur, so she knows what it's like to track your own expenses as an entrepreneur. So kind of you're walking the talk. You know what we're going through, like what can I write off? What can I write off? What receipts do I have to save? You know, again, get overwhelming just when you're a regular person and not owning a business. And then when you go into owning a business, being an entrepreneur, I feel like I was like, wow, okay, what do I do? What can I write off? And I had shoe boxes, and, you know, we do spreadsheets, and then I actually use online QuickBooks, but I have to be honest, like I don't use it. I bought it. Things are going into it, but I don't know how to do anything. So... So, you know what, Carla, why don't you share with us some tips? What tips do you have? Because tax season's around the corner, so that's probably on everyone's mind.
Definitely. And to your point, that was my first tip. Have a system. However you want to do it, have a system. But not only that, follow it. Make sure that you're keeping track of everything that you're doing on a regular basis. Because I cannot tell you how hard it is. Right now, we're in February. Try to go back to last January and figure out what that receipt was for.
My sad sack Sally. Ugh. Right? So are you saying that I should every month maybe carve out an hour of just working on the previous month?
Yes, definitely. Whatever your system is, go back and say, reconcile your bank accounts, your credit card accounts. Make sure that you have a lot of notes on your either your software or your Excel or whatever you're using, so you can answer those questions, knock on wood, if you get audited.
Okay, so that's great. We should have a system. So are you telling me that Excel spreadsheets, which my husband loves, that's still like a way to do taxes?
Not really, but if you...
Oh, wait, Amy says hi. So you know Amy Aram. She says, I can tell you how hard it is. Not keeping track makes tax time so stressful, right? So our goal this year is not to be stressed out with taxes. Can I ask you a question that's on my mind right now? So I never file on time. I do an extension. That's not a bad thing, right?
It's not. I mean, if you have the need to ask for more time, just keep in mind that if you're going to owe money, you have to make a payment. The extension is only for a time extension,
not to pay your taxes.
So I want to reinforce everybody understand that, because I've been filing an extension for 5 years. It's just what I do. My husband thinks we're going to file on time this year. I'm sorry that we're not going to make that goal, Joe. Maybe next year. But if you file a tax extension, as Carla stated, it is only to file, the extension is only good for the paper part. It's not good for payment. So if you owe money with your extension, you have to actually send that in, or you get the interest, right?
Yes. And a penalty.
Okay, and a penalty. So who really wants that, right? Okay, so that answers that question. Laura says there is a terrible echo. Laura, that's my fault. Carla, do you have earbuds?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys, I have to apologize for the echo. Carla is going to put on earbuds. Here's what happened. I got a new phone this weekend. The earbuds are different. I cannot plug them into my computer. So I apologize for the echo. I don't know if talking slower will help. I'm in a new, I'm at HeraHub, so I'm in a large room. So that's probably part of the problem, and I really apologize for that. And I will take note in case I have to come and record again in HeraHub. I will make sure that I have earbuds that fit my laptop. As my brother would say, these are first world issues. So Carla's going to put some earbuds on, and that should help a little bit. But Laura, thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. Amy says she only hears the echo when Carla speaks. Okay, Carla, the earbuds should help that problem.
Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Perfect.
Awesome. So we talked about filing an extension, and that's okay. But if you file the extension, then if you owe money, we have to send that payment in.
Yes.
So Laura, after the show, let's go back, and in the comments, let's put like a couple of the things that we go over so people can see that. Okay. Laura says taxes is such a great topic for small businesses. Thanks for covering. Well, you're welcome, Laura. You know, I typically have people on the show that I would benefit from, right? Marketing, accountants, lawyers. So, and Carla's a good friend and colleague down at HeraHub, and I love to feature HeraHub members. So you're saying a shoebox, an Excel sheet, or software. What is your preferred method of organizing our chaos?
I use QuickBooks, and I've been using it for many years. I used to use the desktop version. I know a lot of people are very fond of it. I personally like the online version because it allows me to work remotely. And I don't need to travel and use up a lot of your time. I can keep an eye on your finances while I'm in my home office, or if you have a quick question, we can jump on the phone and either share screens, or I can be looking at the same things you're looking at.
So you don't actually have to come to my house and see all my receipts? Because I have a corporate credit card, right? So that's one thing I've done right, or a business credit card. So I try to make all my purchases on that business credit card, and that is attached to my QuickBooks.
Yes. And another nice feature about QuickBooks is it allows you to attach files. So you can actually take a picture of your receipt and attach it to the credit card expense or the check that you wrote. And no more shoe boxes.
Yeah, because right now we have envelopes. So here's what it looks like in the Fain Brandt house at tax time. Honey, we got to get all our receipts together. Yeah, I know. No. It's going to take more time than you think. I know. Big white envelopes, mailing envelopes, those big ones. And one will say, Fain Brandt Consulting, my consulting. He used to drive for Lyft and Uber. So we have a Lyft and Uber envelope. We do some Young Living stuff. So there's that envelope. It's even last year we were still host parents for exchange students. So there's that. Like, we have these white envelopes and piles of receipts, and it just seems to me that there's a better way to do things.
Definitely.
Yeah. So let's see. So you like QuickBooks. You can work remotely. So are you telling me if someone were to hire you, they don't actually have to come to your house and see your mess?
No. And I wouldn't want them to. And I don't need to come to your house either.
Okay. So it all can be done remotely.
Yes.
Now, I'm always afraid that I'm going to miss something on my taxes. How do we avoid that?
I regularly, on a monthly basis, I go through your P&L. And I either...
Explain what a P&L is, because not everybody knows or has one.
Yes, sorry. Profit and loss is the report that you want to know by heart. Every month you should be looking at it because it shows you your income, your expenses, and the number that you should be looking for, profit. You definitely want to have a black number in there, which is your profit.
So black number is what we want. Well, not green for money.
No. Or green, but not negative or red.
Okay.
So look at your profit and loss. Keep an eye on it. Measure everything. I mean, and I'm guilty of that too. It's very easy to spend money on systems or tools or that we think are going to help our business, and then we forget about it. So if you're spending something on, let's say, a software, make sure that it's giving you the return that you that you want.
Right.
Otherwise, it is an unnecessary expense. And if you're not keeping an eye on it, it's very easy to pay things on your credit card on a regular basis. And if you're not keeping an eye, I mean, we call them. I forget the word, but it's a small amount, but added up at the end of the year, it's a big one.
Right. Okay. Now, what about mileage? What's the best way to manage mileage? Because I'm always driving all over the place. So, and I'm going to be honest, like when we start working together, I'm going to be like your case study.
There's a couple of apps that are good. MileQ, I've heard it's really, really good because it tracks, you can actually save your trips. So at the end of the week, again, do it on a regular basis so you know which drives were personal and which were business. And it gives you a report. It will give you total miles driven. Everything that you need is in there. Or, old-fashioned, keep a log.
Now,
manual log.
And I'm looking over here. Doesn't QuickBooks Online have a mileage thing? Because I know it comes up on my phone.
Only the self-employed version.
Oh, that's what I have.
Yes, and that's a good one. Although one of my other tips is keep your personal expenses separate from your business.
Right.
And QuickBooks Self-Employed, you can just swipe personal business. If you're not paying attention, you could be categorizing things as business when they're in fact personal.
Okay. So I was going to try to show everyone. So the Mile IQ, wait. Oh, it went away.
It went away.
And once again, this is my new phone that I don't know how to use yet. So I was going to show, here it is, Mile IQ. So what we could do, Carla, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
What we could do is we could probably list a few options for people, because I know for myself, like, I always like to know what's out there and what I can use, but I always like to have options. I feel like everyone's a little different of what they would like. So I know there's Mile IQ. Once again, my husband, Uber Lyft driver, when he was doing that, he had his little notebook and he would write mileage in it and then total it up. So that works too. But I feel like one of my mottos is work smarter, not harder. So let the apps and programs and automation help you with all this financial stuff. So the QuickBooks Self-Employed has something, the Mile IQ, and I'm sure there's some other ones out there. How do you do your mileage, Carla? What do you use?
I use my IQ.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you have to pay for that?
There's a free version. If you don't drive a lot, you get 30 drives per month. If you do, I think it's $10 a month or so.
Hey, $10 a month, so I don't have to figure stuff out. Totally worth it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're talking about mileage. We talked about tax extensions. What else do we need to do to really bring order to our chaos in our accounting world?
I mentioned reconcile.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so by a show of hands out there, I want to know who reconciles their statements and everything every month. Yeah, show off. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I used to, when I had a checking account, like you would have to balance it every month. I grew up knowing how to do that, but I have to be honest, like I don't reconcile everything anymore. So I think I'm just going to share from my own experience. Like I don't do it because it's so overwhelming because I haven't done it all year. So then I just don't do it at all. So I guess, you know what, it's February. I should start with January. Mm-hmm. I should just do January. Once I do January, then I can do December and then just take a month every month. And I think I look at it from the big picture and I get so overwhelmed and freaked out that I'm just like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait until June to start working on my taxes.
It definitely helps if you do it on a monthly basis.
Okay, so I'm going to have to build that into my schedule. Now, what about, I heard there's some new tax laws. Do you know it off?
I know meals and entertainment is going away.
I heard, so I'm not sure, maybe you can confirm this. Tonight in the lab, someone said that you can only write off 20% of your meals and entertainment now. That's,
yeah.
So if we take a client out to dinner, let's just say for use of ease that it's $100, we can only write off 20.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, that changes a lot of things, right?
Yeah. Standard deductions are going up, which is a good thing. Let's see. Tax rates went down a little bit if you're employed. Not that it matters for our entrepreneurs. And there was another big one.
Can you list these in the comments after the show to help everyone? That would be fabulous. So I had another question and it just lost me. So we reconcile, we use our mileage, we use an app or a program, we file on time, or if we file an extension, we send in a payment or risk a late fee and interest. And then, what was the other thing? Oh my gosh.
I have another.
Okay, you go.
Look at your profit and loss again every quarter and send payments in advance to the IRS.
Oh, so that you won't be penalized and have fees and the interest.
That, and it makes it easier at the end of the year when you file your taxes. You don't have to pay a lump sum.
Okay. That makes sense. Does anyone have any questions for Carla out there? We had some comments going back and forth. But if anyone has any questions, specific questions, I do want you guys to ask these because I do this Facebook Live for you, my audience, to serve you guys and have an extra added value for being in my network. I did have another really important question, and now I can't remember it. So I need to reconcile every month. That's going to be like step 1 for me. I was trying to think. So, okay, let me just ask this. So I had to buy a new phone, and my laptop's on its last leg. So those are business expenses for me. Is it better to take that as a one-time write-off, or do you do that old-fashioned defer thing?
Not anymore because of the amount. It's just easier to write it all off.
So I'm going to have a lot of deductions this year.
Mm-hmm.
We had a new phone, which I don't know how to fully work yet. A new MacBook is on the radar for the next couple months. And then how does someone reach out, and how do we work with you or find out, are you the right person, or are you... That was my other question. I got it. Bingo. So my other question was, I know that your realm is accounting, right? But do you work with a tax preparer as well? Do you have tax preparers, or because you don't do taxes, right?
Only individual.
Okay. So business owners, entrepreneurs, right? We would work with you to have our accounting in order to turn over to our tax person, right?
Correct.
Now, do you have tax preparers that you've worked with in the past that, are tax preparers for like entrepreneurs and business owners that are local that maybe you would recommend?
Of course, right now I'm helping out my sister. She has her own tax preparation business, and she does a lot of individuals, but a lot of small business as well.
Okay, wonderful. Because I know people are always asking me for recommendations. It's just kind of one of the things that I guess I'm known for. People are like, well, who do you use, Mary? And where'd you get that tool? And so I just had someone asking me for a tax person. I think it was just last month. So I want to, we can't all serve everyone. So I always like to have like 2 or 3 recommendations because it has to be in the right area of town, the right fit personality-wise, right? And knowledge-wise. We're all in different levels of our business and experience and all of that. So I like to have like 2 or 3 people that I can refer people out to my audience. So I'd love to have her name and contact information afterwards.
Of course.
And it's been fabulous talking with you. Do you have anything else that you want to share with the audience? Any other tips or any specials that you have, or how people can contact you, like your website?
Yes. So I definitely wanted to share one more thing. As entrepreneurs, do not forget to pay yourself. Because a lot of times we forget that that's our salary, and you're trying to, make it bigger and grow, and you forget to take part of that income out.
That's a really good tip.
Yes, I'm going to share my website on the comments, but it's www.demurconsulting.com. And I want to offer a 3 months QuickBooks subscription if you hire my services.
Oh, check that out. 3 free months with a program that's going to make your life easier of getting your chaos into order. So that's a great offer. Thank you.
Yep. That's a $150 value. So.
Okay, folks, she just said it. That's a $150 value, and it's going to make your life easier, simpler, and cleaner. So definitely, if you're looking for an accountant that with 20 years experience that can help you get your chaos into order and give you a tool to do that for 3 months for free, I think that's a no-brainer. Thank you. That's awesome. I mean, I'm always impressed with my guests and the offers that they come up with. And this is really perfect timing because it's February. So if someone's thinking they want to work with you, like, do they need to book you in the next couple of weeks? I mean, what does your season look like?
Well, right now I'm busy with tax preparations, but There's always time to get on the phone and chat.
Okay.
I like to find out what your business is about, if you and I are a match. If you don't mind working remotely, a lot of people still want that face-to-face. I don't necessarily need that. So that's how I like to work.
Okay, perfect. Well, if there is no more questions, I just want to thank you, Carla, for coming on and sharing your expertise, especially that thing about the tax law. We can't write off lunch all the time. So Amy, Melissa, Stephanie, everyone that I'm always going to coffee with, and we write that off. I guess we're going to have more coffee dates. Anyway, so let's all be careful about that. And that started this year. So last year's write-off is still 100%. Okay, that's good to know. And Carla and I will go into this Facebook Live a little later, and she'll put the tips in there and all of her contact information and her special offer. And then you want to reach out to her as soon as possible before she gets all booked up. And I know that we're going to be talking about my needs and bringing order to my chaos really soon here. So thank you so much, Carla. It's been a pleasure having you on my show.
Thank you, Mary. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye everyone. I'll be back here. When will I be back? April, what is today? Today's February 21st. I'll be back on April 4th. April is all about HR and attorneys. We're getting legal in April, so you don't want to miss out. We're following this theme. I've got Sharina Scott coming on April 4th, and we're talking about trademarks and copyright, that kind of stuff, because I just went through the process and I want to share what I went through and help you all. And then we have...
Did you mean March?
Oh, I meant March. Oh my gosh, thank you. I skipped March. Oh my gosh, March is super exciting. So March is Marketing March, and I have the famous Stephanie Liu, March 21st, coming on my Facebook Live show, talking about Facebook Live. She is the queen of Facebook Live in my book, and she's the one who actually got me to start doing these Facebook Lives. So I can't wait to have her on. And then on March 7th, I'm not sure who my guest is yet, but that is also a marketing person. So thank you for catching that. I skipped March. How could I do that? That's one of my favorite months. So March 7th and March 21st, you can find me here on my Facebook page, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. As always, it's Mary Fain Brandt with a LinkedIn Bakery, serving up bite-sized tips so you don't get overwhelmed. Good night.